Hi, boys and girls. How are you guys? It's Monday, and here we are again. And I'm going to be going over the weekly coursework that you will see on Seesaw. Um, I am going to review a little bit of the ELA work and do a little lesson today regarding the poems that are in the coursework. So you will find this on Seesaw. Just as a reminder, there are ELA activities, there are must-do activities, and there are can-do activities. This is to keep you engaged in learning throughout the week. There are math activities. There are some content activities, science and social studies, fine arts, which is art, and then phys ed activities. So hopefully you're keeping yourself busy and engaged in all the work. I do need to see your work on Seesaw, so please make sure, or if there's any reason why you can't be on Seesaw, please let me know. So today I'm going to talk to you about your ELA work, where you are going to be reading 2 different poems and you're going to be doing some work with the poems. Okay, so one of the things you're going to be doing is you're going to be visualizing. So do you all remember what visualizing means? When something is visual, you can see it. So when you are visualizing, you are creating an image in your mind about what it's like. So it is something, it's a picture that you make in your mind. So when you visualize, you make a picture in your mind. That's a really good thing to do when you're reading stories, or in this case, poetry. So as I read the poem, I want you to be making a picture in your mind and visualizing about what's going to happen, what's happening. The other thing I want you to think about is a lot of times when authors or poets or anybody who writes things, they're trying to give us an idea about something. In this particular lesson, you're going to be thinking, that's funny, in this particular lesson, you're going to be thinking about what lesson the poet is trying to teach us. So sometimes you might hear your parents say, I'm going to teach you a lesson, or something like that. It's something that you learn is a lesson. So what is the poet trying to teach us, or help us to understand what lessons should be learned from reading the poem? Okay, so you're going to visualize, making a picture in your mind, using the words to creating an image in your mind, and be thinking about what lesson will you be learning in the poem. So the first poem that you're going to read is When Tonya's Friends Come to Spend the Night. So the first thing I want you to think about is spending the night. When you spend the night at somebody's house, again, what kind of stuff do you do? Do you play games? Do you run around and play tag? Do you sit and talk? What kind of things happen? So already I'm starting to make a little bit of a visualization in my mind. I'm visualizing it. So here we go. So I want you to think about it, and then what are the lessons that the poet is trying to teach us. When Tonya's Friends Come to Spend the Night by Eloise Greenfield. When Tonya's friends come to spend the night, her mama's more than just polite. She says she's glad they came to call, tells them that she loves them all, listens to what they can do, tells them what she's good at too, plays her horn and lets them sing. Do they make that music swing? Feeds them sweet banana bread, hugs them when it's time for bed. Tonya sure would have a gripe if she were the jealous type. But she isn't just a guest. She knows her mama loves her best. What did you visualize in that poem? I want you to stop and think. What did you visualize? What were you imagining? Can you tell somebody there's something that you imagined or visualized in the poem? So when you have this poem, it's going to be attached to your work. You're going to read it again, and you're going to be thinking about what images are being called up to mind. I'm imagining being at this house and coming over there, and a really nice mom telling them all kinds of good things about them, and letting them play her instrument and make music and feeding them bread and things like that until it's time for bed. But who is this poem? Who's over there for the night? All right, so that's that. And what lesson might we learn from this poem? I don't know. You will have an activity page to do that you have to do a quick write. And it is says this: readers uncover lessons of a poem by thinking about what they or the author might be trying to teach them about people or life. What is Eloise Greenfield trying to teach us about people in the poem? What is Eloise Greenfield trying to teach you about life? So I'm going to come back to you with the second poem you're going to be reading this week and the activity you're going to do. So stay right there. Be right back. And I'm back, just like that, just like a flash. So I got the second poem, and this poem is called Eating While Reading. Eating while reading. And again, in this poem, we're going to be visualizing about the images that are coming up to mind. And I think I'm going to actually stop and talk about them a little bit as I read the poem. So what are we visualizing? This poem is called Eating While Reading. This is the page you're going to be doing, and this is the must-do activity. So be paying attention. This is by Gary Soto. Eating while reading. What is better than this book? And the churn of candy in your mouth. So when something churns, it turns around. So churn of candy. So it seems to me like I'm imagining somebody chewing candy. What is better than this book and the churn of candy in your mouth? Or the balloon of bubble gum, or the crack of sunflower seeds, or the swig of soda, or the twist of beef jerky, or the slow slither of snow cone syrup running down your arms. A slow slither is a slow, like sort of slithery movement like this. So like a snow cone with juice dripping and moving down your arms. What is better than the sweet dance on the tongue and this book that pulls you in and yells, "Over here," and you hurry along with a red, sticky face? So what is happening in this poem? The person is talking a little bit about what's better than all these things that are so wonderful. Like, what was wonderful? Chewing gum and having it churn around in your mouth. No. Chewing candy and having that churn around in your mouth. And then, or just blowing a bubble and have that balloon of bubble gum, or crunching on sunflower seeds, or taking a swig of soda, that's taking a drink of soda, or just a nice piece of beef jerky you're chewing on, maybe a snow cone dribbling down you as you eat it. What is better than this book? It pulls you in and says, "Over here." So I think this poet is trying to tell us that all these other things are great, but nothing is better than a book that pulls you in and makes you want to read it. So your work for this week, one of the things that you're going to work on is you're going to find this sheet and you're going to read this poem. You're going to practice it and practice it for fluency. Also practice when Tonya's friends come. That one's really fun. I like that. But you're going to practice this and you're going to tell me right here in this box what is happening in this poem and how do you know. Use some specific words, some phrases or lines from the poem in your answer, and I'll be looking for that for you. All right, guys, I will be back later with another video regarding some other work that you need to do, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.